Howdy y'all, thank you for joining me today for this unboxing of another Masters of the Universe board game. This one I had to custom order through eBay because this is the Fields of Eternia one that I wanted to Kickstarter, but it could not be shipped to America here, so I had to get it through eBay. And I did get all the promo and Kickstarter stuff with it that we'll go through, like the Orko, the Grayskull Dice Tower, and then Rise of the Snake Men, Spell of Separation, and then the Stretch Goals box. We'll go through all that. The only thing I did not get was the limited edition figures, which I do want, but I more want the game more than anything than just extra figures. But let's go ahead and take a look at this one and see what it's all about. Because like I said, this is the main one I wanted, because it felt more like an adventure game to me, whereas the other one was more of a skirmish game. You can see here it's a game for ages 12 plus, 1 to 6 players, takes 90 to 180 minutes to play. You can kind of see the board there, along with some of the miniatures and whatnot. So let's take a look at this and see what it's all about. Alright. Come on. Ooh. Big thick rule book here. You can see we got an introduction along with the component list, game setup, objective with key concepts, and then we get into so it was about 13 pages for the rules, but most of that was the combat. And I will admit, after watching a playthrough, I like the base combat, but like the epic combat as they call it, I thought it looked a little interesting, so we'll see how it plays out. But it looks like there's an alternative, so if I end up not liking it, it looks like they have another different way to do it where it puts dice in with it too. So that's kind of cool. So we'll have to try both ways to see what it's all about. But yeah, most of this rulebook seems to be just about the combat. And then it just talks about, because you can play this solo or co-op also. So then we have a mission book. If you want to understand what it is, you're going to be playing through one of these missions, and it's just going to have special events that will happen as the game progresses, depending on what mission you're doing. And then where quests pop up and stuff. Doesn't look like there's that many different scenarios though, so we'll have to see. And maybe the expansions add more. Because it looks like there's just 2 regular scenarios, 3 skirmish scenarios, and 3 solo / co-op scenarios in this book. So, alright, I'll zoom out and show you this board, because it did. I'll see if I can zoom out enough, because it did look like it was a big board. Okay, I'm zoomed out a little bit here. You can kind of see it's a 6-segment board, but it's quite a big board. But you see the round tracker here, along with, we start with Castle Grayskull there. That's all like the slime pit, stuff like that. That's the main thing I liked about what I wanted to see in this game, is it looked like they had a lot more of the toys and stuff that I remember in this game. So we shall see. And as you can see, this board, it's a 6-segment board, and each segment is the size of, it's a normal size board game box. So, like I said, pretty decent size board. Then we got some cardboard here, which hopefully I should be able to replace some of this. And these are the battle boards. There's going to be one for each side, along with some more cardboard. These are quest markers from what I remember. Okay, what do we got here? So I have a bunch of cards which we'll take a much closer look at. I'll separate them out. These all say core game, core game, core game. Got the characters here. We got Triclops, Evil Lyn, Merman, She-Ra, Rayman, Stratos, got Trapjaw, Beastman, and the Skeletor, along with He-Man. Let's say this is probably Man-at-Arms and Teela, I'm assuming. You would have to have them in here. Yep. Then we have these couple trays here. All right, I'll pop all this stuff out and we will take a closer look at, but looks like we got 2 baggies of dice, assuming bad guys, good guys. Do not remember this. I thought it was only these dice for combat, but it looks like there's some type of D10s. Then it looks like probably henchmen, because these look like, we'll take a closer look at them, but it looks like the hoverbots and the Eternia guards, or the men-at-arms, basically. Alright, so I take them out, but I think I'll just give you a closer look like this, because taking them out, I just realized this video is probably going to be super long as I show you everything else that's in the other boxes. Especially because I kind of want to go through all the cards. Now, as far as these, I'll show each of them. Yeah, it's like I was thinking. There's like little busts. I think these are like the henchmen. Because we have like... Oh, if I can figure out which way these are supposed to be facing. There it goes. The little hover robots and the men-at-arms or the Eternium guards. And then the D6s, they're just the same thing. There's just one for each side. And it has 2 of these single sword hits, 2 blanks. And then I think this is like a reroll or something. And then there was one, let's see if I can find it. Yeah, one on each side that has the double hit. And then on the D10s, I basically saw that each symbol had a +1 and a +2. Well, it actually has 2 +1s and 1 +2 on each dice for each symbol. So I can find them all. And then each dice has one side that shows that. As far as the cards, these look like they are standard size. We have encounters here where you can see you're going to hit allies. And I'm assuming, because it says allies, but then I noticed like some of them, they got the bad guys, it shows allies. So I'm assuming, depending on who you're playing, it's either going to be an ally or somebody you have to fight. Which, this is how you're going to run into some of the other characters or creatures from Eternia. And then it just gets into some actual random encounters. And then I remember there were 2 scenarios, Evil Seed and Fractures in Time. So I'm assuming these are unique to those actual scenarios. So I'm assuming these are the things they showed in the scenario book. They showed these random things going down, and it's probably when you'll draw from this deck, as that is part of that scenario. No, I'm going through them pretty quick here, but then next we get into some smalls or some red cards, the red code for the cards. We got spells here. I'll just show some of these because this got a bunch in the deck. But spells will be recognized like Fireball. So I'm assuming these are all ones that are just going to give you a spell that you can cast to do time travel, energy thievery. Then we have some vehicles which you can get. We have the Attack Track, of course, Battle Ram, the Dragon Walker, Ice Raider, Land Shark, Night Stalker, a Roton, Sky Sled, Talon Fighter, Stridor, then next we have some equipment you can get. Some battle armor. I know I'm flipping through each of these, not really staying on any of them, just show you the variety of things. Some plate mail, some traps. Victory cards. So I'm assuming these are victory goals for you to try to pull off. And there's a bunch of different ones of those. And then there's two combat decks. They looked similar to me, because from what I understand, you're going to have the basic combat deck, and then you could get things that will let you go grab these other cards and put them in the deck. Like as you pull off or beat bad guys, from what I remember. And this is the good guy deck. So they should be the same. I'm assuming balanced other than, or equal other than whatever you find that you get to add to your deck. And then I noticed the last grouping of cards showed a battle deck, just like we saw combat over there, and effects. But I noticed it's got these little gears on it. So I'm wondering if this isn't the bot. And this is like things the bot is going to do. Well, maybe not. But it's just got a whole type of variance of things. I assume that because it showed gears, but maybe not. But that's my guess. All right, let me put this all away. And as you can see here, the trays are pretty nice actually. And I noticed this one has a little sunken thing to kind of push into there, because I don't think it's supposed to be the 10-sided dice that go there, or the D10s. I think it's supposed to be for the markers. And that's so the markers don't go everywhere. But other than that, everything else seems to have its spot. And even the cards look like there's enough room here. I don't know about sleeving. I was about to say, I think there's enough room for sleeving, but I think the sleeves will fit in here. I just don't know once you sleeve them, I think it'll be much higher. It also looks like once I put the board in here, there is a nice lip here where this can go up or down. But then again, once I punch this cardboard, I'll just put it underneath the insert and lift that insert a little bit. All right, let's get to the other stuff. Next, we'll look at this Spell of Separation, which says it's just an expansion for the card game that introduces the Evil Horde. Even let you know right here, Hordak is ready to cast a Spell of Separation. Whose side do you take? Looks like it's going to have more characters. And it'd be nice if it just adds more stuff to the decks. So we'll see, because Temple Hordak we saw on the other board, so on the main board, so looks like it's not going to have a separate board or anything. But I'm assuming, yeah, I was about to say, probably new mission book. Which looks like just adds the spell separation that they talked about. It shows the components here. But yeah, it just adds a new scenario, which is basically the Horde, the spell separation. Shows the characters here. We got Hordak, Grizzlor, Shadow Weaver, and Leech. And we have Scorpia and Catra. This shows Masters of the Universe Path of Destiny. And then the Horde Path of Destiny. Which I saw something in that book that mentioned something about a Path of Destiny. So maybe this is part of that new thing or just a new way to go. Then we have a different battle board for them. Oh, and here's an Evil Warrior's Path of Destiny. So I'm assuming if we open the other ones, there's got to be a Path of Destiny card in each of them. Take a look at that, which is probably just going to be the separation thing. This will be the new vehicles, I'm assuming, and whatnot. They have their own unique dice, which I'm going to assume are all the same. I'll look at that and show you that they're different. All right, as you can see, I just went and dumped everything out here. I'm not sure what these are all about. I guess I can look it up. Yeah, I looked it up. It said rings for sailor, merchants, or elites. So I'm assuming it looks like these things will be able to pop down in there. Maybe you can turn your henchmen, which just looks like Horde troopers, into sailors, elites, or merchants. I did look at the dice. They were all the same. Just now you got red ones for this faction. And you can see the characters that we already saw the cards for here. And I will go through each of these cards a little bit slower. Just so that you can see if it's something you want to add in. But it does have the same backs. So looks like you could just mix them in if you want. I mean, I didn't look in the book. The book might be one of those ones where it says you can only play with one encounter deck, but I know me, I'll probably just end up mixing them in. And then we saw spell separation was the new thing, so this is probably the deck you play with if you're doing the spell separation questing, or scenario I should say. And then a majority of those cards were just the combat deck, which I flipped through it. It looked pretty much exactly the same. It's just giving them their own combat deck. There were 2 new vehicle cards. There were some new equipments. And some new spells. It definitely does not look like there's room to sleeve up cards here. I mean, like I said, you can sleeve them, but there's not enough room to where I think that'll go flat. I mean, I don't know why you'd have them separate anyway, so they're probably going to go into the main box. But let's get to the next one. We'll do Rise of the Snake Men next. As you can see here, it just looks like it's going to be another faction. Hold your nerve and don't let it falter. The Snake Men are here. So it looks like it's just going to add the same stuff we saw with the Horde one. Just this is going to be the Snake Men faction with some stuff from them. So we got Rise of the Snake Men. I'm assuming just like the other one. Looks like there's just this one scenario, Rise of the Snake Men, with the additional rules that this is going to add into it. Notes. But we got our characters here. We have Fangor, Squeeze, Lady Slither, Ratlore, got Cobra Khan, King Hiss, and as we predicted earlier, the Path of Destiny for them. I'm assuming that's probably more of a freestyle way of playing, without worrying about scenarios maybe. We got their battle board, along with some more of their cardboard. Some cards, which we'll take a closer look at. And all this stuff. Let me get it all unbagged. Okay, as you can see, pretty much the same setup we just saw in the previous one. I already put the cardboard in here. Already put the cardboard underneath here. We have the Snake Men little henchmen busts. It said these were for squads, like we saw with the other one where it said merchants and stuff. We got the figurines here, and I know I'm not pulling them out. I just figured it's a lot faster to do it this way. We have so much to go through. I don't know how much is in that stretch goal box. The dice were all the same. Well, we're same, just dice for them. All right, we got new encounters. Snout Spout, Roboto, Blade, really? I think most people tried to forget that movie. Then we have the Rise of Snake Men scenario thing, our deck. A unicorn. Saw the slime pit there. We have the Snake Men combat deck. Look the same to me. If there is something different in this, I'm sorry, but I kind of flipped through. If it's something different, it's going to be something just one of a kind or something. Got some new spells. And some new equipment. All right. Next, we got the stretch goals box here, which from the back, it looks like it's just going to be characters. But we'll see if there's other cards and whatnot in there. But it just looks like it's going to add a bunch of characters to the different factions. So, let's take a look at that. So we see Queen Grayskull and King Grayskull. See Fisto and Mechanic. I know I haven't shown the backs of these. I did on the originals. It's just the same artwork that's on the front. Hero and Tongue Lasher. Hero 2 and Mantenna. So I was thinking that when I saw the Horde, I was like, I didn't see Mantenna. Clamp Champ and Manny Faces. Faker and Buzz Off. Then we have Whiplash and Scareglow. Oh, we do have some cards here. It's not many, so we'll just go ahead and go through them now. Looks like just 4 encounter cards. Yep, we got Modulok and Stinkor. We'll take a closer look at the figurines here too. I'll pull Modulok out there because he's kind of, I'll pull Mantenna out here because he is kind of hidden in the shadow there. Actually, all these are, sorry. Or not all of them, but some of them. Alright. That one didn't really have too much to show in there. Next, we'll take a look at the Castle Grayskull Dice Tower, which had its book separately on how to put it together, which I'll admit I was not expecting to have to put together, but looks like the main thing I wanted was the Dice Tower, so we're going to probably put this thing together. And it'll probably be my main one I'm using now instead of the Game Genix one that I normally use. I'll admit, probably going to put this together right after this video. Oh, I mean, I'll say this. Originally, when I was ordering this and I saw it was going to be cut off sprues and put together, I was thinking it was going to be kind of like a lighter plastic. This is a pretty hefty, thick plastic. Or resin. I bet it's resin. Because this is a lot better quality than what I was expecting, actually. I'm not going to lie. I was trying to see if it said, but I'm pretty sure this is... If it's not a resin, it's a nice thick plastic, but I think it's resin. So, I could be wrong on that. I am a dumb Aggie, but... That was a nice, much nicer than I was expecting. And yeah, I'll be putting this together as soon as I'm done with this video. And last but not least, let's take a look at, looks like it's Orko. Which basically looks like it's going to add him as a character. And have an encounter card that comes with this also. If I can get the box open. There we go. But yeah, we see the character right there for the character card. I'll go ahead and pull this character out. It's just one to show. And I'm going to make sure it showed only one card, but I'm going to make sure it's only one card. It is just one encounter card to add to the deck. But cool. Alright. Might even get to play this solo. Check it out. See which one has the power. Other than that, thank you for watching and have a great day.